Everyone, good morning. You have reached the Human K channel. Carl Rogers was an important person in the field of psychology, and today we're going to learn more about his life and work. Carl Rogers was born in the Chicago neighborhood of Oak Park, Illinois, in 1902. Rogers grew up in a home with strong religious beliefs. His parents taught him the importance of being moral, keeping his feelings in check, and working hard. During his childhood and adolescence, these views had a strong hold on him and kept him from fully expressing his own point of view. Interestingly, Rogers later said that even though his parents were strict, they also showed love in subtle ways. This part of how he was raised would later show up in his special way of helping people. After Rogers graduated from the University of Wisconsin in 1924, he first looked into becoming a minister. But because he was interested in learning more, he changed schools and went to Teachers College at Columbia University to study clinical and educational psychology. In 1931, he got his PhD and started working at the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children in Rochester, New York, in the Child Study Department. Rogers came up with his person-centered theory while he was in Rochester. This theory changed the way we think about human nature and the possibility for personal growth. Rogers says that we are rational, self-aware beings who are not influenced by unconscious forces or our past. He thought that the only way to understand personality was to take a phenomenological approach and focus on a person's private experiences in their own experiential field. Rogers said that the goal of life is self-actualization, which is our natural desire to grow and improve. Positive regard is a key need for acceptance, love, and support from others, especially when a child is young. When positive regard is given easily and without conditions, people can learn to have positive regard for themselves and give themselves love and acceptance. Rogers knew, though, that conditions of worth, which are often taught by our parents, can create a gap between how we see ourselves and the things we do that hurt our self-image. This can make people feel anxious, which makes them try to protect themselves by rejecting parts of their experience that seem dangerous. Rogers thought that the fully functioning person was the pinnacle of psychological growth, even though there were problems. One of the most important things about people who are fully working is that they are always aware of everything that happens to them. They accept both good and bad feelings because they know how important it is to acknowledge and understand the full range of human emotions. People who are fully functioning have a very fresh respect for everything they do. They look at each moment with a sense of wonder and can find worth and meaning in even the most common things. Trust is a very important part of the lives of people who are doing well. They have a lot of faith in their own actions and feelings, which lets them go through life in an honest way and with confidence. People who are fully working have a strong sense of freedom of choice. They don't have any inhibitions, so they can make choices that are in line with who they really are, without being limited by societal expectations or outside pressures. Creativity and freedom come naturally to people who are fully developed. They are proud of their natural ability to think outside the box. This encourages creative expression and a joyful openness to life's unexpected possibilities. People who are fully functioning always want to improve themselves. They always try to reach their full potential, pushing the limits of what they can do and looking for new ways to learn more about themselves and the world around them. In essence, people who are fully operating are in a state of actualizing. They enjoy the road of self-discovery and are always changing and growing as people. They are always working to be the best versions of themselves. Rogers was criticized for not taking into account the effect of mental forces and the fact that self-reports could be wrong. His person-centered approach to therapy, which included giving unconditional positive regard, is still very influential in the areas of counseling and psychotherapy. Now, we'll look at some interesting study that shows how Carl Rogers' groundbreaking approach to psychology has changed people's lives. Research has shown that the value of having a good opinion of yourself may be different in different cultures, with individualistic cultures giving it more weight. Studies have shown that people who have all the traits of fully working people are usually open to everything. Their willingness to accept and participate in different parts of life helps their mental health. Research shows that a child's level of self-acceptance is affected, at least in part, by how much their mother accepts herself. A mother who has a healthy sense of self-acceptance helps her child build a good picture of himself or herself. Children with good self-esteem tend to have parents who accept them no matter what. This kind of unconditional positive attention makes children feel like they are valued and accepted for who they are, which helps them feel good about themselves. Research has shown that people who feel like their real self is different from their ideal self are more likely to be mentally unstable. They tend to have low self-esteem and have trouble becoming their best selves because the gap between who they are and who they want to be makes them feel bad. Maladjustment can happen when we don't use our natural abilities to grow and become our best selves. Research has shown that ignoring our natural desire to improve ourselves can hurt our mental health. These study findings give us a better understanding of what Carl Rogers' ideas mean in the real world. As you go off on your own paths, I encourage you to follow the ideals we've talked about, which will help you develop your awareness, appreciation, trust, freedom, creativity, and the drive to keep growing as a person. By doing this, you will be on your way to becoming fully functioning people who will leave a lasting mark on your lives and the lives of the people you touch.